Well, so today I thought I'll speak about common sense. And what I mean by common sense, now this cannot be taken as a definition because I'm yet to come to the wording which will make sense. But what I mean by common sense is okay, let me give an example of the human body. Okay, now we have different parts of the body. We have head, we have hands, we have trunk, we have legs, we have abdomen, we have heart, we have lungs. We have so many names to describe parts of the body. But when you look at it, these are all different components of the same structure, which is the body. When I say common sense, I'm saying whole body as one unit. That is what I mean by common sense. And every parts of the body, every names that we give are names to describe aspects of what makes this one whole organization. Now, similarly, now that is one example I can give you. Another example is we have 5 senses. Now we can say we have eyes, we have ears, we have mouth, we have nose, we have the sense of the sense organ of feeling, which is skin and the other tissues. And again, when we say common sense, I mean it's like a field. It's like a common ground where all of these senses has one base. It's like one substratum on which all of these senses makes sense. Okay, there is information coming from the eyes, from the ears, from nose, from different sensations, and it's like a camera. It's like a theater screen. There are different sense organs bringing information, and there is one screen, one canvas on which all of these information that's coming from our different senses makes sense. And I call that common substratum, that common canvas on which all of this makes sense, as common sense. Now what I'm noticing a lot of times is, and there's another example, and that example is of how a lot of people live lives. We have personal life, we have official life, we have social life, we have love life, we have different kinds of lives. But the fact remains that it is one life that we have in which there are so many aspects. Personal life is one aspect, work life is one aspect, fun is one aspect, entertainment is one aspect, household maintenance and chores is one aspect. So these are not so many lives to live. It is one life in which there are so many, it's like departments. Okay? And common sense, in this sense, is living from that this is one life. It is not like you have so many things to do. You're living one life with just so many aspects. It's like, in one room there are so many things scattered around. And common sense is to make the best use of what is there available and to see what is there, rearrange it so that there is workability. Instead of saying, oh, I have so much of paperwork, I have so much of this work, so much of this maintenance to do, so much of things to people to manage and handle. It's one life. So common sense is having the sense that you're living one life in which there are so many aspects. Now, this thing called common sense, I'm finding a lot missing. We seem to be living from one or the other departments. We have so when it's like a balanced doll. I can't give you quite an maybe another time I'll post another video of this and give you an example on that. But it's like it's like a balance. Have you seen these old kirana shops where they have a tarazu? Or you've seen this in a court. You see this statue of justice, or what you call. She's blindfolded and she has a tarazu in her hand, and there is a traditional balance where you measure, the right and wrong, good and bad. So I'm talking about that tarazu, and it's like, as a one is important, one is more important than the other. When you do that, the balance tips off to one or the other. And what happens to life? Life also goes like that. Now, if you're going to balance it appropriately, that each aspect, every area of your life is balanced equally, then life is all standing straight. Otherwise, it's like, different kinds of shapes and sizes, and you have consequent health. So, I'll leave this idea here. This is part of one of the this is well, part of what I facilitated in life. Well, right now, one of my major I think milestone that I need to meet is when people come into more of a sense of more common sense. And what is one of the manifestations of there being a need for common sense is the amount of plastic on the planet. So I'm very sure that when a lot of people come to being in common sense, that a lot of the plastic on the planet will start finding its own movement to more workable, life conducive ways that is definitely operating from common sense. Yeah. So I'll leave this here, because if I speak anything more, it might cause what I call as neuroconstipation, or brain constipation, which seems to be what most of us are suffering from, because of which there's so much of plastic on the planet. That's the conclusion I've come to. And I'm trying to relieve neuroconstipation, brain constipation, by inviting people, you the reader, to begin to start thinking along the terms of what is common sense and what you understand by it. And there are some pointers I've given here. And let's start coming to better states of health, better states of balance between giving and taking and being and doing, and thereby bringing about the balance in not only with who we are as a person, but with the lives that we live and life at large. So us as in my groups and the communities that I'm in, and we as in whole of earthlings, all of us on earth and in the universe. So I, us, and we. So that's another base for common sense, where I hope to be making sense about what I'm saying here, and that would already be a movement in the direction of us having come to a common understanding of what there has always been there for us to come to. But maybe for once, maybe a lack of perspective, or maybe this perspective was not brought forth, or is not common, constantly in presence, because of which it goes off our attention. I hope to be successful. Have been successful in bringing about that through this. If you like my video, and if you think the content is valuable enough, I invite you to click on the subscribe button, and let's keep the conversation going, and let's work and contribute towards and be a part of the movement towards making the world a better place to live in, not only for us, but for generations and generations to come. Thank you for listening.